Good afternoon or morning or evening, depending on where you are in the world. It's so exciting to be here with you. I love doing this class. I love imparting information about health, happiness, wellness, positivity. This doesn't come naturally. Like I was listening to someone named Tara Brach, who's an eminent psychologist. She wrote the book Radical Compassion, Radical Acceptance, a lot of books. She's a major psychologist. And I was listening to her today. The brain is actually not wired for positivity. So it does require daily deposits. And I always say you can't get the dividends unless you put in the deposits, right? So this is our work. Our work is to work on health, wellness, and positivity. It's not the brain's natural bent is to be positive. Okay, so I myself, I have been working on being a more positive person since I'm very, very young. I actually got into therapy when I was 14. I put myself in therapy when I was 14 because I was suffering a lot. I was always looking for love in all the wrong places. And one of my mentors through my journey, and not today, but another day, I'm going to talk to you about my own personal journey. But today I did promise you that I was going to talk about Miriam Adahan, who is one of my mentors. I got introduced to Emet, which is emotional maturity established through Torah. And if you're not Jewish, it's just established through the Bible or biblical teachings. And she went through a lot of suffering, and she was introduced to a method called Recovery Incorporated, which is the secular program for depression and anxiety, which was started by Dr. Abraham A. Lowe many years ago in the 1930s. And then Miriam Adahan took this method of Recovery Incorporated, which was developed by Dr. Lowe, and incorporated the Jewish aspect into it. So I'm just going to read. I took a class recently with Miriam Adahan, which was very beneficial. So I wanted to give it over to you. So I'm going to read to you first what her introduction is, and then I'm going to read to you what her solution is to depression and anxiety. And I think this is especially super relevant during this time because first of all, it's winter. So a lot of people suffer more with depression and anxiety in the winter. Second of all, it's the COVID period. We're in a pandemic, right? So a lot of people are more isolated. They have more challenges. They may be more financial challenges. There's a lot of different things going on in the world that can cause a lot of depression and anxiety for people. And a lot of people, I've even spoken to, I have a lot of friends who are therapists, and their practices have like boomeranged, right? Like they're like, one of my people who's a therapist told me that she's working 15 hours a week, and she's had to go to the hospital with her patients. There's an increase because there's a lot more to deal with right now. So I thought it was really important for me to give this over to you. And I heard Miriam Adahan's class a few weeks ago, and I wanted to pass on to you what she shared. So first I'm going to read to you something about her background, and then I'm going to read to you some of the solutions that she offers us. So, Baruch Hashem, she says, which means thank God. For the first 30 years of my life, I spent a lot of time in hospitals and doctors' offices. I had colitis and Crohn's, I had eczema, chronic fatigue, PCOS, among other physical problems. As for my mental state, by age 30, I was told by various psychiatrists that I was a lost cause and was given a host of labels, such as bipolar, pervasive depressive disorder, GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, CPTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't know what the C stands for. Each disorder required more pills, okay? Thankfully, I found a holistic MD who instructed me about proper nutrition And in 2013, I discovered that I lack an essential enzyme. Now, I hope and pray that you have notebooks, ready, so that you can write down some of this information, because she did discover through her work and through investigating other people's works that many, many people, and especially a lot of Jewish people, are lacking in an essential enzyme, which is called MTHFR, which transfers B vitamins from the bloodstream into the cells. So if you're lacking in that enzyme, you're not able to really use the B vitamins, which are directly involved with stress, anxiety, depression. B vitamins are essential if you're for dealing with your mental and emotional states. So if you're lacking in, if you have this, and if you have this MTHFR genetic disorder, which many Jewish people have, and I believe it's a lot to do with the fact that we have gone through so much PTSD down through time, more, that our brain chemistry was affected from all of the difficulties that we've gone throughout, the history of the Jewish people. It's probably affected our genetic structure, right? Taking the enzyme improved my life, and I also take supplements that are listed below, and now I am a happy and healthy person. Now, we all know Miriam Adahan has been prolific, in terms of writing and giving courses, and she's just an amazing powerhouse of helping people to be a happier, healthier person. So I'm going to list what she said on this course that I took, this class that I took with her, about some of the supplements that will help you if you do suffer from anxiety and depression. So the best, she says, for the methylated B9 and B12, the HEROES formula, it's called, which is a special formula for those of us who suffer from the MTHFR gene mutation. It's called HEROES formula. And I looked it up. It's very hard to get. You can't get it except this one place that I found, which Miriam Adahan found, which is formulated by someone named Ari Abramowitz. And his number is 443-637-2367. Okay, so also this is going to be on YouTube. So if you don't miss any, if you miss any of this information, you can get it from the YouTube. Okay, under my name, it's Nechama Kessler, and I have this will probably be the 8th YouTube, I think, or the 9th. So this will be the last one from this date, which is, I think, January 18th, right? That's the best formula for this particular gene mutation. Or she says you can use life extension methylated Bs. Now the other one which she mentions, which is super duper important, is D3. Now most of us know that. Okay, so D3 plus K2. Okay, so whenever you take vitamin D, you really need to take it with K2 in order for it to really be maximalized, in your body, used properly in your body. And I also have learned recently, I think it was yesterday when I was doing some more investigation, that D vitamins really should be taken with oil. So I'm going to tell you something else. So when you take the D3 and the K2, please take it, she recommends highly, borage oil. Okay, so borage oil is very, very important, but not if you're pregnant or nursing. So she doesn't recommend taking the borage oil if you're pregnant or nursing, but for those of us who are not, which is, quite a few of us out there, but you could take it, let's say if you are pregnant or nursing, then take it with olive oil, or take it with, coconut oil or some kind of oil, okay? She recommends, of course, probiotics. And of course, I've been talking to you on every YouTube about the importance of a really good probiotics formula, which the best ones are from the refrigerator and taken on an empty stomach. I take it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and I also take it right before bed on an empty stomach. So I take it twice a day. And magnesium glycinate, or it's hard for me to pronounce some of these things. Threonate, 200 milligrams in the morning and 400 to 600 milligrams in the evening. And magnesium, I really want to tell you, is something that is very, very lacking in most people. Vitamin D and magnesium, most people very, very low in. She recommends curcumin and turmeric for inflammation, but that's on a physical level, really. For emotional stability, okay, choline/inositol, 500 milligrams. And again, taken with oil. So you want to take your choline and inositol. Now, if you are not pregnant or nursing, take it with your borage oil, okay? Or your evening primrose oil. For focus and concentration, NAC, which is N-acetylcysteine, 500 milligrams once or twice a day. Okay, for sleep, we take melatonin, 1 milligram 2 hours before sleep, and after age 45. Listen, a lot of seniors take a lot more than that. That's like a very, very low dose. Many seniors I know take 10 milligrams of melatonin at night, because the melatonin is a hormone which greatly decreases when you're a senior. And I consider a senior anybody over 50 or who, if you're a woman, has stopped menopause. So the hormones really shift a lot during menopause, as we all know, who have gone through it. If you haven't gone through it, you're in a different situation. Okay, so for depression, we take tyrosine and we take phenylalanine. And that's in the morning on an empty stomach. Now, the first set that I was telling you about are the basic supplements for the MTHFR deficit. So that was, I'm just repeating what I said before, the Heroes formula or the Nutri-Supreme formula for methylated B9 and B12, or the Life Extension Bs. The D3, the probiotics, the borage evening primrose oil, if you're not pregnant or nursing, the magnesium glycinate or threonate or whatever it is, and curcumin turmeric. Okay, so those are the basic supplements for the MTHFR deficit. For emotional stability, it's the choline and then choline/inositol, and taken again with borage if you're not pregnant or nursing. If you are pregnant or nursing, then you would take it with a different kind of oil. For focus and concentration, we said the N-acetylcysteine, 500 milligrams once or twice a day. For sleep, the melatonin. For depression, the tyrosine or the phenylalanine. For anxiety, okay, so now we're in a different category. For anxiety, we take tryptophan and or theanine in the evening on an empty stomach. So these are great to take before bed. I take these before sleep, the tryptophan and the L-theanine, okay? So, for ADHD, PMS, mood swings, again, she says GLAs. So if you're not pregnant or nursing, the borage or the primrose oil is a natural mood hormone stabilizer. Okay, people who are suffering from depression and anxiety have high inflammation levels in the brain and in the abdominal, in the intestinal area. So, and because a lot of us who have suffered from depression and anxiety have ingested a lot of sugar and carbohydrates, which has definitely affected our whole gastrointestinal area. So that's why I've always emphasized to you the probiotics and the enzymes, especially for the seniors, because we are suffering, over long periods of time. A lot of us, not only the sugar and the carbs, we've taken a lot of antibiotics, we've taken a lot of medications, whether it's, aspirin, this thing, that thing, all kinds of, medicines. So these all affect your whole intestinal, the acid alkaline in the body. So I don't want to go on and on with this. As I said, this will be on YouTube. You can go over it slowly. You can write down all the information. We are working on a book. I'm working on making all of the information that I give to you over in a book. So it will be available in book form. It'd probably take me quite a while, but we're working on that. Because, my mission in life, what is my mission in life? So my mission in life is to help people to build a dwelling place for Hashem in this world, okay? So they should feel happier, healthier, holier, feel more connected to themselves, more connected to other people, more connected to their higher healing power. So that's our mission. And so I'm trying to make it as easy and palatable for you as possible. I know I gave you a lot of information I didn't even finish, but make sure, this is the last tip, and then I'm going to open up for questions and comments. Make sure to avoid folic acid, only folate. In case you want another pregnancy, it's recommended to wait 2 years before pregnancy. So make sure if you are wanting another pregnancy she says to avoid folic acid, only folate. So I'm going to have to investigate this a bit because I'm not really sure what she means by this, but I will have to investigate that a little bit more. So I want to thank you so much for being here with us today. I am going to have Moshe close the recording so we can ask questions, and that way you can be personal if you want to. It's not going to be recorded. And I'm open now for questions from anybody or comments, anything you'd like to say.